Hi guys, welcome to another Stretch the Sketch video here at the Paper Addict. This month I am working with Pink Paisley's Summer Lights collection. It's not a recent one, 2017. Isn't it horrible that I have to even think about how long ago some of my stash is from? I only have of this collection 2 pieces of 12 by 12 and the 6 by 6 paper pad. So I am pulling in the dots and stripes from Echo Park. I have, I think, every one of those that they have made, and they are still available to use as my background, so I don't have to cut into the only 2 12 by 12 sheets I have from the collection. By the time I decided I wanted this collection, I couldn't get more than that. But surprisingly, that is still available. Like the stickers are still available, the 6 by 6 is still available, but it's that 12 by 12 that was very elusive. So the collection is obviously with a name like Summer Lights, very beachy, lots of blues, purples, pinks, water type colors. So I'm inking the edges with Distress ink. That's what I use for all my inking. This one is Seedless Preserves. Helped me to pull the purple from the paper. I have the mini ones. I'll tell you, I really like those. I did have some of the regular size, and I ended up selling those and just going for the minis. So, I don't know. This sketch had like a triangle look to it, and I always struggle. Circles and triangles are like the 2 things that I really struggle to use on a layout. So I took the inspiration and obviously modified it a little bit, not only from a 12 by 12 sketch to 8.5 by 11, but I just used the triangles in the corners of my layouts rather than adding another piece. Like the original had 3 pieces, I just add the 2. I am using this cloud paper since we are on the beach. I thought it looked like the sky that's behind our daughter in this picture. The beach was a little bit tricky this year, if I'm entirely honest. She loves the water. Has a floaty for my parents' pool, swims all over by herself. But we took her to the beach, my girlfriend and I. We took her and her brother and her 2 younger kids for a day trip down to the beach, and we were standing right with her. I mean, she was literally like I could touch her without moving. And the wave came in, knocked her over, grabbed her and took her out, and we both went running. My girlfriend got there before I did. She grabbed her, and then the next wave knocked her over. Then I grabbed her. It knocked me backwards, which was not fun for my head. So I lost her. The lifeguard had to come get her. And ever since then, she was terrified of going in the water. And I get it. I mean, she's only 3. And right after that incident, they went out and did like a check, I guess. And they raised the flags to red and made everyone get out of the water. So it wasn't, anything we did wrong or that we weren't watching her or whatever. But that's how quick it can happen. So when we went for our family vacation, she didn't want to go in the water, which was fine. But you can see from the pictures, she absolutely loved the sand. We'd fill up, they're supposed to be Easter basket buckets. So they're really, really large. And we used those for the sand. and she filled them up. Well, she didn't, but she had us fill them up with water, and she brought her mermaid Barbie, which is one of the reasons that you'll see I end up putting a mermaid embellishment on here. And she just played and played and played in the sand and dug and made, the buckets were the Barbie's pool, and she dug little trenches, and this is their house, and this is their, she loved the sand. So, the paper aspect of this layout came together fairly quickly, but then it's always my struggle is the the embellishments. I do have the die cut pieces to this and the chipboard stickers. The chipboard stickers do have some foil on them, which makes them very fun. But I'm going to fuss around with these frames. None of them end up being the perfect size. So I do end up using the scrap paper I had cut from my last two layouts for the backing behind my photos. I am trying, since I only have the 2 sheets of 12 by 12, I am trying to use this collection until it is gone. I've done 2 layouts so far, and then I haven't been able to get in my scrap area very much recently. We coach soccer, my husband and I. We have a team of 15 young men between the ages of 8 and 10. We have practice 2 nights a week. We have games on the weekend, game or games, depending on the weekend. Weekend before last, we ended up having to cancel our game because directly across from our field, a house fire broke out that took 4 municipal townships to put out, and it took them something like 3 or 4 hours. But so we have that going on. Our daughter started preschool in the fall, and we've had field trip with her. Obviously, our son has school functions. I've been in the classroom on several occasions. And then a spot opened up on the swim team we wanted to get into. So in addition to soccer 2 nights a week, we have swim practice 2 nights a week. So I was hoping that with the little one going to preschool, that we would get more, meaning me, would get more time in my craft area, but that hasn't happened. But be prepared that for the next several videos, I will be using this collection to try to get, that's going to be, I think, my goal, is when I pull out a collection to make several layouts with it to get it used up. I'm at the point where I'm starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel in the way I store my paper. Like, I'm starting to have room in between things. And at this point, I could probably only need 2 files instead of 3. And that's kind of my goal, is to get it down where there is not paper everywhere. So here I am just backing my photos with scraps I have from the other layout that I did. I did use some washi tape on this layout, just things I had in my stash. I can't even tell you where they came from as far as manufacturer. Tell me, though, in your experience, what do you use to hold down your washi tape? Because mine always seems to lift up. Like, I'll go back in my albums and the washi tape has let go. So tell me what you use to stick down your washi tape. I did use sometimes I'll wrap it around the back and like glue the ends down, but on this one, I cut it off with my Tim Holtz X-Acto knife, or craft knife. I think X-Acto is a name brand. So I couldn't do that because I didn't want it to wrap over the yellow piece of paper. I'm gonna fuss with I fussed with the layout of the photos for a little while because I didn't want so much white space, but I didn't want to cover it all up either. You know, it's that balance of the white and the embellishments. But this is what's going to be the end layout for the photos. You see, I pulled out that mermaid embellishment. I do end up putting that on the layout. And I think I stuck it down just as is. Maybe not. I'm trying to look at the layout and see if I can tell. I've been really into using my powder tool lately I think it's from EK Success, and taking the backing off of the chipboard, like the sticky part off of the chipboard, and then using my own wet glue. Because I don't know what your experience is, but it seems to me like every time I use chipboard with just the adhesive that comes on the chipboard, it ends up falling off. So I do reinforce that 99.9% of the time with liquid glue. Use whatever you have, obviously on hand. I have noticed that since they changed the tacky glue formula, it does not seem to work as well for me. I mean, if you're having great luck with it, please continue to use it. But everything I have used it on since they changed the formula has fallen off. So my go-tos are the Nuvo adhesive, or I was on the design team for Scrap Perfect many years ago, and they make the best glue ever. I do still have bottles of that I have purchased that I use and find that works really well as well. So here I am just fussing with the embellishments. I wanted to use the bathing suit because obviously there's pictures of her in her bathing suit, but it just wasn't right, which I know sounds ridiculous, but if you are watching this, you most likely scrapbook, and you understand when I say it just wasn't right. I don't know if it was the color of the suit, since it was pink and purple and hers are, red and blue. It just wasn't right. But I am going to end up with that mermaid hair because in this picture, in both of these pictures, her hair is wet. Like I said, she didn't like to go in the water, but she was hilarious in the fact that she would dunk her head in the bucket of water that you brought her. She doesn't mind being wet, she just didn't want the waves. So I am going to use pop dots on this, what I'm going to use as my title. I'm going to stick down some sequins that match the colors of this paper using my Zots. I use the Zots for bling. I'm going to put my journaling in the right-hand bottom corner. What I did want to share with you before we close, though, is please, please, please go down in the description box below. You'll find the links to all the other girls who are participating this month. It is not always the same set of ladies. We participate on a as we can fit it in, basis. So, someone may participate this month, may not next month, may participate for a year and then need a month off, depending on their schedule. So please always check down there to see who's joined us this month and get some other great inspiration on how to use sketches other than 12 by 12. Also in the description box below, I always put links to the products that I use in the video, tools, as well as if I can still find the paper collection or collections that I've used, and other ways you can follow me on social media. I'd love to interact with you all on the various platforms, whatever you use. I will be honest, I am not a big Twitter user, but Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I do have a blog that I attempt to update on a semi-regular basis. But like I said, school projects often get in the way. But thanks for sticking with my rambling, guys. Thanks for watching me create this layout. I really do hope you'll go check out what the other ladies have created and that you will come back next month to see what sketch we've used and what we've created with it. Bye.